This whole world is to bring about a renaissance, to bring about a resurrection, the redemption of Africa, to talk about a new beginning. This new beginning spells doom for imperialism, spells doom for white power. Yes. Must be the end of time. Yes. Yes. We're working to make it the end of time. Yes. And that's what it is that we're about. So we're not concerned about this end of time. They don't scare us with this notion of this being the end of time. I remember in 1967, must have been, I had this black power thing was scaring white people to death. They were accustomed to our timid parents at the time, who wouldn't defy them. And we talked to them in their faces and talk about black power and talk about the days of nonviolence are gone, white man. And I remember being on this television program, me and Mukasa Willie Ricks, right here in this city. And the white man was so nervous. I mean, we were talking to him, and he was sweating, and his pancake makeup was sliding down the sides of his face and what have you. And we were smoking him so bad, and the thing was over. And as the television program was ending, he said, it looks like we're out of time. And the last word that everybody who was looking at that show heard was me saying, that's right, white man, you out of time. Must be the end of time. Must be the end of time. And so that's what it's about. It's about recognizing that you have a white nation that was built at the expense of everybody else. All the time that white people got, they stole it. All the time they stole it. They have no innocent time. And whose time did they steal? They stole your time. The fact that you live in this country 7 years less than white people is stolen time. The fact that you have Africans who are living in places like Sierra Leone to be only 37 years old, that's stolen time. The fact that you got Indians in this country who only live to be in their 40s is stolen time. All the time they got has been stolen time. White man, this is the end of time. This is the end of time. Yes. And so that's what we're building now. We're building our future for ourselves. And this is the future that can only be constructed at the expense of what white power has built for itself, at the time that it has given for itself, the time that it has stolen for itself, the days that it has taken for itself. Yes. Without that, it wouldn't have any time. Without us, it wouldn't have any days. So we've taken our time back. We've taken our days back in the time. Yes. In the time. Yes. And so we just have to be careful, as we say, not to accept the contradiction of imperialism as our own. Yes. Ain't my problem. You heard the joke. Lone Ranger Tonto riding across the west. You heard the joke, didn't you? And they're heading in the east. And up there they see a whole bunch of so-called Indians. They turn around and say, Tonto, let's go the other way. Turn around and head to the west. And in the back of them in the west is a whole bunch of Indians. They go north and south and they run to the same problem. Isn't that something? Yeah. And then Lone Ranger looks at Tonto and says, well, Tonto, looks like this is the end for us. Tonto said, us, white man? Us, white man? Oh, no. So it's the end of that time. Yes. I'm not accepting that time anymore. Oh, no. I ain't riding with Kimosabe no more. Oh, no. Kimosabe on his own. Take him and his white horse, his white bullets, his white skin, and get the hell out of here, right? Right? So that's just the end of time. And so, like we say, we don't accept their time as ours. But I want to say something. First of all, I don't know if you know that Brother Kobina was in an accident, car accident. And I don't know how serious it was. He was on his way back from Miami, going back to Huntsville, and I think it happened in Tallahassee. He called his wife from the ambulance and on his way to the hospital. But I think he's going to be okay. But I heard Sister Aisha on the radio being interviewed by Penny Hess today. And I was so impressed with this sister. You know, she's a physicist. She's one of those people, and so is Kabina, who did what Cabral called for the African petty bourgeoisie to do, to commit class suicide, yes. Right? And to accept the destiny and future of the masses of African working people as their own. That's what they've done. I'm so proud of them young people, I can't tell you how much. And I'm proud of Comrade Binger too. Because Binger is the same way, you know. Just got out of college and what have you, and, you know, could have done the old kind of thing. Could have done it. That's what all the other do. But Binger didn't. Binger came and don't make no money, got his wonderful wife and baby and what have you, and who's also joined this movement in their youth, and make just extraordinary contributions. And they're smart. And they've taken going through this process of so-called education from the white man, and they've taken the essence, the thing that's meaningful from it, and brought it back to our movement. Omali has done the same thing. And I'm proud of these young comrades, because this is a part of the process that we're involved in. The question is, do you mess around here working on white people's time, right? Which is the end of time. Where do you see the future? See, if they had seen the future, if Aisha, who's a physicist, she's a PhD in physics, could have, especially with a black face, colored woman, could have gone any damn place in the world and made a lot of money. Couldn't she? Because that's white folks need that kind of stuff. That shows how wonderful they are. The woman is a PhD, a physicist, right? And she's talking about now moving to West Africa, where ain't no electricity, ain't no clean water, and bringing it and helping to make it happen. Yes. I'm proud of that. Yes. You know, this is somebody who sees her future with the working class, with the suffering masses of Africans, and she is not staking her future on white power. She is not putting her future on white people's time. Yes. She knows white people's time is up. Yes. Imperialism is up. And that if you spend all your time working for white folks, what you're doing is helping to keep them in place. But if you come over to the side of black power, right, and work for the African Revolution, this brother here is helping to tear it down while others are helping to try to hold it together. They don't call themselves holding together, they're just working on their own stuff. Yes. You understand? But this brother working on black people's stuff. So he's trying to put together some propaganda that would educate masses of African people to help them hate imperialism, hate white power, want to bring it down, want to make sure that these indeed are the end of time. Come on. Right? That's what the mob is trying to do. Don't mean we ain't got no struggles and problems, because we do. You see, that's what Kabina and Aisha are doing. They bet their future on the development of the African nation. Yes. So Africans can stand up full stature, right? Yeah. And so that we increase the likelihood of the end of time for white power. Don't you want to see white power down? Don't you want to see it dead? Don't you want to be one of the people carrying the shovel that buries it forever? Yes, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to make sure the end of time comes. That's what we're about. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that in these young comrades who make what some people call a sacrifice. But I'm telling you, ain't no sacrifice in being free or fighting for free. It's the best feeling you ever had in your life. You spend all your time working under white power, dominated by white power. That's the reason for ulcers and all kinds of contradictions that we are confronted with. But when Garvey built the Black Cross nurses, when Garvey built the Black Legion Army, when Garvey built the Black Factories Corporation, when Garvey built the Black Star Line, he knew that in doing so, he was working toward the end of time for white power. That's why white power had to bring him down. And so we know this. That's why we appreciate all these little garbage that we got around us who helping to bring this thing down. Yes. It ain't because we got any enmity for white people or white folks as such. It's because we have love for ourselves. Yes. Because we recognize that history is on our side. But history is like what my grandmama used to talk about in terms of old-time religion. You can't wait for it to do it for you. You got to involve yourself in making it happen, don't you? So that's what these comrades are doing. They are history. They are conscious agents of history, helping to bring forward the new world that we have in order to survive and advance our interests as a people and as a class. In the process of doing that, we ensure the end of time for nasty, foul, imperial white power. Uhuru.